Hiya and welcome to Hit the Bar. We're back again after our international break when our producer and director left us to go to warmer climes than we're experiencing at the moment over in Benidorm. And by the way, RIP Sticky Vicky. We've not a lot to talk about really, have we, since we last spoke? I think we'll probably do it in order. First of all, Derek leaving. I don't think any of us saw that coming. When you heard the news, Paul, what was your first reaction?
I was gutted. So we knew that Ross County were about 3 weeks ago looking for a new manager, and you thought, would he go back? And then, when I heard it, I was devastated, really. Yeah.
Did it came as a surprise, but when you heard about it, is it something that you can blame Derek for? Did you feel miffed that he'd left us, or
not at all? How can you blame Derek? Really, I think he's been promised things. I think we all know I think he felt he could have kept us up last season if he was given a few more things, and I think it's a job that he can't turn down. Really, I think he feels that he can do things with Ross County, he can't do with Morecambe.
Helen, is it something that you think he should have done or shouldn't have done? Should he have stayed with us, or in that situation, what would you have done?
It's a job at the end of the day. You can't blame him. Like, he wants stability and he wants stable finances and job security, like anyone. And I mean, they've left us in a good position. We've got a good squad and good foundations. And I almost think he's almost not been planning it for a while, but he's got Jed in and he's been taking a lot of the coaching sessions. It's not as if he's just totally left us in the lurch, without a squad that can do something good. But yeah, it was upsetting. It was a shock, and I was sad.
James, welcome back again. What were your emotions when you heard that Derek had signed for Ross County?
Well, obviously it was being reported in the media sort of on Sunday night, and I was messaging a few friends about it, and they said, "Oh, surely this isn't going to happen," blah blah. But when it's in more than one paper, and it's not just the Sun, it's in the Daily Record as well in Scotland, which is a bit more reputable. You could see that perhaps it would happen, and obviously it did happen. It did come as a bit of a shock, but you can understand why he's made the decision. He's been very vocal in the media about the ownership issues, and to be honest, you could see how frustrated he was. He's been at Ross County as a player and as a manager twice beforehand, and I've heard as well that he's got family members with connections to the club as well. He's got a house up there, I believe. So to be honest, you can see why he's made that decision.
Yeah. And then we're left with a little bit, not a vacuum, as you've said, Helen. We've got the continuity there, but in the build-up to us appointing a new manager, what were you hoping for, Paul? What were you looking for?
Yeah, I was looking for someone who's sort of done it before, come in, who thinks, right, I can take this team, push them on, because clearly they're a good side, they push them. But yeah, somewhat a bit of experience. I was not saying disappointed, but there's something in me that thought we could have got a bit of experience. But I'm going to get behind Jen now because that's our man.
And then what's your thoughts on that, Helen? Were you hoping for somebody to come in from outside and then disappointed, or when you heard about Jed's appointment, what was your emotion when you heard about that?
Initially, I was quite shocked, to be honest. I thought it was going to be that someone with a lot more experience and maybe a name we hadn't really thought of. Sometimes the bookies sort of top five are nowhere near it, and it's just some random person that sort of comes in like actually,
which happened really possibly with Derek and Stephen Robinson, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But I've had a bit of time to think about it. I don't know if we're getting onto that on the next question, but it sort of makes a lot of sense in our financial situation. A lot of the time when a new manager comes in, they'll bring a lot of their own sort of staff in, they shake up all the players, but with such a solid foundation with good players and not much money, maybe that wasn't the best call right now for us.
James, how about you?
I would have liked someone external to come in, someone with a bit of experience, someone with a track record in League Two, like Derek had when he first came to us. But to be honest, I think there are some pros of Jed being appointed. The fact that he's been working with the team the last few months, you can see that he has had an impact since he's come in. Whether or not he's ready to step up to the manager's role is another question, which we'll see whether he can prove that as the season goes on. Obviously, it's not been the easiest of starts for him, but we've just got to back Jed and give him our backing all the way.
It's a difficult situation for him, isn't it? Because he knows that as fans, we're always wanting the next exciting thing, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear that a manager has left, you've all got names in your head, and you're kind of thinking, let's have something that excites us. And I think it's probably the case that everybody's not exactly excited by the appointment, but it might just turn out to be the sensible one. A lot of people have expressed a bit of surprise that he's been given 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
People have said, why not till January? Why not to the end of the season? But it may be something as simple as his contract was already for that length of time, and they've just changed the title and given him a bit more money. Because what do you do if you appoint another manager? What does that then do to Jed's contract? Will they bring in their own people? And there are complications with all of that. There are upheavals, aren't there, with all of that halfway through a season. So the board may have just seen it as continuity. We're doing okay. Take out the last few games, which obviously we've seen a little bit of a slump. We'll all have our opinions on why that's happened. But it does at least give us that continuity, doesn't it, Paul, going forward?
Yeah. No, I totally get why they've done it. So it's just a case now of it looks to me that we're all trying too hard. The players, the Jed wants to come in, implement these, and I think we all need to just sort
Calm
of down a bit, and then take it from there. We've got a lot of tough games coming up. Well, just need that one win, and then I think we'll be on our way again.
Yeah. Helen, is that your thought? Are we all just panicking a little bit too much at the moment?
I think so, and obviously a lot has happened in the last month or so. We've had some time off, and a lot has changed since then. But anyway, I'm sort of excited because, we were shocked it wasn't a new person, but he's new in this role. We don't know what he's going to bring. Neither do the managers of the sort of opposing teams. So we could, once he gets settled, shock people with some of his own ideas that we may not have seen before. Which, excites me a little bit.
Because that's the case, isn't it, James? When you're a number 2 or number 3 or however it panned out in the coaching hierarchy, you're not necessarily bringing your own dynamics into that situation. You sort of adapt into the managers, and Jed may come with completely new ideas about how he's thought we should be playing, and he can now implement.
That's right. But he has said in his interviews, I've watched pretty much every interview he's given since being appointed, and it doesn't seem like he wants to change too much, judging by what he said. But from what we saw last night, which I'm sure we'll come on to, it looks like he is trying to implement his own twist on things. So yeah, we'll wait and see on that one.
But he's not had the best introduction, has he? As an interview phase, the Wrexham game, and then losing our home record last night. 2 completely different games and different attitudes and performances, I think.
Yeah.
But it's been a tough start for him, Paul. How have you seen that?
Yeah, well, he must have looked at the pictures and gone, right, so we've got Wrexham, and we've got an informed Newport, we've got Wickham, and then we've got Stockport. So he has been thrown in at the deep end. Well, obviously, Saturday, we'll just talk about it. But last night, I thought first 20 minutes we were straight at it. We played some good football, and even when we conceded, we still looked. We had glorious chances just before half time as well, and you can see what he's wanting to do. So obviously it's going to take time for these players to because I think you look at Jurgen Klopp and that when they came into Liverpool. It took a season before he were really playing his sort of way. So, yeah, I think, like I say, it's going to take time. So, but yeah, he's had a terrible, not terrible, as in a difficult start. So, and he'll know that.
Did you see signs last night, Helen, that Wrexham, can we just write it off, or do we have to sort of learn things from that? And if we do, did you see signs in the Newport game that we might be able to get back on a winning run again?
Yeah, I thought, as you said, the first 20 minutes or so, I thought we were completely on top of the game. We were playing with confidence. We looked like the better side. And then I don't know what happened after that. We were just hoofing balls forward. Like, we weren't really getting it to feet at all. It all just kind of went a bit awry. Yeah.
Might there have been a bit of that trying too hard that somebody's mentioned, because, we were desperate, weren't we, to get back on winning ways and better form after the run that we've had. Might it just be a case of that, James, of just having to take a step back and settle down and, remember what we were good at doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with what Hayley and Paul have just. You're not called Hayley, are you?
Helen.
Close enough. Well, I just met about 5 minutes
Most of the
ago.
letters are there.
But I totally agree with what they say. It looked to me like he was trying to play possession-based football. There was lots of passing here and there, lots of short passing 1-2s, etc. Songo went a bit further forward, and I quite liked what I saw early on.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was times where there was bad passes. The ball went out of play. In the second half, 2 players run into each other. So it didn't. It seemed to go a bit of a mess.
I like Senior's been told to bomb on now, and I like that. We're sort of, if he does that every game, he's gaining those yards, and I think it will work out. But I like that.
And the confidence is just a little bit fragile at the moment, isn't it, with what's gone before? And that's what happens when you're doing well and then you get a knockback. Your confidence, if it is a little bit flaky, that's where it comes into play, and that's where it tells. And I think we saw that second half.
Yeah. I think when the sign went up for 8 minutes at the end, I thought we'd turned it back on then. I think I saw the 8 minutes and thought, oh God, another 8 minutes in this cold. Like, we weren't looking like we were going to score at all. We weren't going to get anything out of the game, it looked like. But especially Adam Mayer, I think him linking up with Mellon's going to be a key thing for the rest of the season. But it's nice to see him getting back into it as well. I really enjoyed that.
And we have a break from the turmoils of the league coming up this Saturday. Wycombe, how do you see that, Paul? Are you going into it with confidence, or we're on a slump? How do you see that one?
I think we're going to win. Right? So obviously it's 2 teams that are both in a bit of a slump. I don't think they've won in 7 league games. But this is a different type of Wycombe that we're playing. We've always played in Ainsworth, where they've been direct, and I think we've had a couple of high-scoring games, haven't we?
Big athletic lads as well.
Yeah. Well, it was the manager Bloomfield. Well, if you look at their results, I think they're sort of, let's get ahead and defend what we've got. They don't score many goals, they don't concede many goals. I think that would suit us. I think if we can get ahead, their confidence or lack of confidence, I think that, and we've got a lot of young players who've never made it to the 3rd round, and I just think hunger might get us there.
Happy going into it?
I don't know, I'm sort of optimistic. And like you were saying, they're big and strong, but we're sort of short and nippy and have pace, so we might get under their feet and cause a bit of a problem. And I think obviously we can make quite a lot of money in the cup, and it's money that we need at the minute, so I'm hoping get through this and then get Spurs again or someone in the next round.
Newcastle away on. James, are you confident of going into the FA Cup Saturday?
Not really.
All right.
I think we've just got to see what happens. It's a free hit. We've had a good record at Adams Park in the past. There's been some good games there. If Wycombe are struggling at the moment, I believe they've not won in 7 games. The fans may be on their backs a bit. Maybe we can pounce on that. But if I'm honest, we'll just have to see what happens.
because they'll be thinking the same, won't they? They'll see it as an opportunity for them to get
Yeah,
away
I
from
see
league
as
form and maybe, a free hit for them.
Yeah.
I think we've covered what we've sort of, where we left it and the events that happened between then and now. But we do have something important to talk about. Paul, do you want to just talk us through the Shrimps Trust toy appeal?
Yeah, so this is the 4th year we've done it. So what we do, we collect money or collect gifts for, we work with local schools, and they hand them out to struggling families. So we had a table last night which did all right. Could have been better, but
Cold night, wasn't it?
cold night. But what we have,
How can people get involved then,
well,
Paul?
there's still ways. So if you go onto look at the Trust socials, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, we've got a GoFundMe page, which is we've set out to make £1,000, and we're at 830, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
We've also got an Amazon wish list. So basically, you click on a toy and it will get delivered to us. And then we've also got a book outlet from Joanne Wilkes. She's been brilliant, by the way. She's helping me. So it's them three, and we're running it for another week, and then we'll go to meet the schools.
Yeah, brilliant.
So yeah.
So, I mean, it is actually simpler than even I thought, because you kind of think, have I got to go to the trouble of going buying a gift and I don't know what to buy, who for? It's a lot simpler than that from what you're saying.
Yeah. And also, I want to say, if anyone who's listening to this and they feel that there's a lot of pressure on parents, if they feel that they're struggling, give me a message and we'll help you out if we can.
And all of that can be accessed by Googling Shrimps Trust.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and that'll take you to the right places. Right. Thanks, everybody. Look forward to the trip down to Wickham on Saturday. Hope we can get back on winning ways and bring it in the FA Cup and then bring that back into the league. Thanks for joining us.